Yeah, so I called my video for that the worst defeat in the history at 𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗓.
To be honest, all I can say about it is, how did they let them walk out like that?
I swear I've heard the whole ground go shoot because you're just crying out for it, and he does, and hey presto, goal.
On to a bit of game by game. We've done our awards now. We'll go on to some game by game and just talk about each one. So if we start with Sittingbourne, then sadly we have to start with this because it was literally on the first day of the month. A 1-0 loss, without a doubt, the worst of the season, maybe even the worst in our history. If you look at how embarrassing that loss is. They scored right at the end. I think it was 94th minute, something like that. So what did you make of that shocker, Pip?
Dear me, I was not looking forward to this part, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I called my video for that the worst defeat in the history at 𝗙𝗘𝗕𝗥𝗨𝗓, because that's what it felt like, was an absolute disgrace. And the people sat around me in the East Stand, I think it was the Green Block, there was some words which I won't repeat, but it was wow. You could feel the hate around you, and it was just like, whoa. But I think we'll start with the fact that fair play to Sittingbourne on the day. They had a game plan to come and just hold and withstand and nick it, and they did that beautifully well. To them, and fair credit, they were 29 undefeated coming to us. They made it 30 at our place, and now they've got Aldershot. I think it's this weekend in the FA. It's just like, wow, to say a team 4 divisions below the National League, which for the FA Trophy is the top league. That's mad. That's so mad. And if I really do back them to go on and do it all the way, because I mean, if we're going to look on paper, we beat Aldershot. If we're going to do it that way, we beat them. Sittingbourne beat us. Maybe things could happen. Weird things happen in football, but in terms of the game, just horrid. Awful atmosphere at the end, and some fans I heard in the North Bank were really, really bad, and there's kids around and all that. I just thought there's a line that was crossed on that day, so it's best to move on from that game as quickly as we can. But it was just not right. We didn't take chances. It didn't seem fluent. Keenan was the standout player for me, which is a tick in his box. But apart from that, I have nothing good to say.
No, not really. I can't. Well, there's not one positive from that game. The only positive maybe was that Keenan really made a case for himself in that game, I thought. And I think probably our biggest issue in that game, as you said, Sittingbourne played their game plan perfectly. Wait, late on, try and nick one at the end. That's pretty much exactly what I imagine they would have hoped for before the game. And fair play to them. They got their fairy tale against us. Sadly, it's us on the receiving end of a fairy tale, which is never nice. But I think probably our biggest, because if you look at possession, I don't know the stats of possession, but it felt like we had so much of the ball, which almost makes it worse, because how could we have that much of the ball and not get a single goal against Sittingbourne? But what I would say is probably our biggest weakness in that game was that we just weren't shooting enough. And I think it's been a real issue all season that we get the ball on the edge of the box. It's like, it sounds cliche, but it's like we're trying to walk it into the goal. Like, nobody gets the ball on the edge of the box and just smacks it at the keeper. And it's Sittingbourne. No disrespect to them, but if you smack a ball that's going at some pace towards their goal, it's a keeper who plays for Sittingbourne, and fair play to him, he played really well on the day. But if it goes at some pace, you never know, it's most likely going to go in. And it's just those sort of chances that we don't take. And people can say we had loads of chances. That's been something that people say a lot about, and we'll talk about it later as well, that we have so many chances, don't put away chances. But when you look at our chances, I don't really think in that game we had I can't remember many clear-cut chances, if any, like where it was like, how did we miss that? Actually, there was maybe one from Bon, I want to say, or somebody where it was in front of the North Bank and they just couldn't quite get on the end of it. That's maybe the only one I can remember, but I think I can remember 3 really, really good shots in that game, and they were all from Keenan. But I'm probably missing one, but the 3 that I remember that stand out to me were from Keenan. So definitely he made a case for himself in that game. But we'll move on to another terrible game. I promise everyone watching home, this will get more positive in a moment. But we move on to Maidenhead. I can't do anything about the chronology of this month and how it's gone. So we start off the month with another bad result. A bad 1-0 loss against Maidenhead. You know, they scored 10 minutes after the break. And I think the first half was again stale. What did you make of that game, Pip?
Oh, here we go. So for me, like I said, it's the most localist game to me. I mean, only a half-hour drive, and I just thought when I saw that fixture, like, please, a nice, easy game. We can come home, have our dinner, sit down with a family, watch some telly. I can edit a 3-0 win, and I'll be over them. But no, far from that at all. Nothing like that. And we didn't deserve it. Again, you said about walking football. It was honestly dreadful. It was semi-walking football. It didn't even seem fluent enough to call it that. Second half, obviously, they scored a good goal, to be fair. Set piece, nodded on by their number 4 at the back. It was a good goal. Hayes couldn't stop that. You know, you could argue the challenge for the header could have been better, but no, it was awful. Honestly, awful. Dare I say, nearly as bad as Sittingbourne, nearly on that level. But it just didn't feel anyone confidence. You could hear in the crowd, again, the toxicity, the horror, and fans arguing with fans, saying about their opinions. It's like, we've not heard hate like that in the fan base or in the stands for a long, long time. So Maidenhead, to start the month off with 2 disastrous losses versus 2 part-time clubs, really, really was not a good start. And it put Kev and Co under pressure to change it. And then we'll come on to it. They did change it in the following games. But it was just awful. Honestly, mate, it probably one of the worst starts of the month we've had all season.
Well, I think I'd match you there, to be honest. Maybe even go a step further. And this is going to sound a bit mental, but I think in terms of result, undoubtedly Sittingbourne is a worse loss than Maidenhead. But I would actually say in performance, I'm almost tempted to say that it was worse against Maidenhead. If you take out the fact that we're at home against Sittingbourne, that sort of plays into it. Like, you tend to play better at home. But, you know, I actually think that performance-wise, it was just as bad, maybe even worse against Sittingbourne. And I think the previous month, we played Barnet and lost 3-1, I think it was. And that performance, I thought, was really, really, really bad. And then it got a bit worse with the Sittingbourne game. Well, a lot worse with the Sittingbourne game. And I think it maybe even got worse with the Maidenhead game. I said in my match before, not many positives really, if any. I was going to say if any, to be honest. One talking point about the game, I think, were Kev's comments after the game, what he sort of said about it. One thing that he said that a lot of fans, it split opinions quite a lot, and I think the majority were quite annoyed with maybe some of the stuff he said. One thing that he said was that a lot of fans were saying, why are we playing 2 up top again? And he said that Coker was playing up top in that 3. Did you think that Coker was playing in that 3?
No. So what I thought was it was Tom Hooper up top, not Hopper, because I spelled his name wrong. Let's not forget. So Tom Hooper was up top, and who was alongside? I want to say Walker, maybe, but no. I felt for the first 5 minutes, Coker was taking up that right-sided role of the front 3, and you could see it. But then I think early on he lost the ball twice, maybe 3 times consecutively, and maybe then that lost his confidence in that position. So he dropped more back into that midfield, and it didn't really suit. And I think he came off at just after half time. So I think Kev knew in a way it wasn't working with Coker. I'm not saying don't try things, because, hey, Coker could have gone into that on the day, scored a hat-trick, taken the ball home and been an happy boy. But it just didn't work out like that on the day. And no, Coker, he's more of that driving midfielder role. I like to compare him to Cav. Cav likes to make a tackle and drive. Same with Coker. He gets the ball, drives forward. But as the front 3 for me, no, it's not his thing. And we'll go back to it with Jack Wood. It's more a Jack Wood sort of position, maybe. That's where we should have had him for that sort of game. But no, I think for Maidenhead, like we said, there was nothing to take positively. The formation, we'll say, was fragmented, dismantled after 10 minutes. Maidenhead just did what Sittingbourne did. Just waited and waited, took their opportunity, and held out with a low block for the rest of the game. Might have had a chance here or there, but I'm sure Maidenhead weren't too unhappy on the day. And well, sorry, they must have been ecstatic with the result. And I think after that, they went on to beat Oldham the week later. So fair play to Maidenhead in recent weeks. They're doing well. They're coming up. They just never seem to go down. They're just a team who's going to be stuck in the National League. Every time it gets dangerous for them, they fight back up. It's like, guys, can you just be bad for us?
Yeah, exactly. They always, I mean, they've done the double over us this season now, which is mind blowing, especially if they get relegated. I mean, that is pretty crazy. Clearly a bit of a bogey team for us, but then we've had good results there in the past before. I remember when it was 2-1, 2-0 win. I want to say 2-1 when Crowther got his first goal for the club. I remember that one. So yeah, sometimes we do well against them, but clearly not this season. It's got a bit wrong. But I think what I'd say about the 𝗘𝗭𝗕𝗕𝗥𝗪 and whether he's playing up top or not, I think it's possible that, yeah, I mean, if Kev says that he was playing up top, then he almost certainly was. I don't know why Kev wouldn't lie in about what he was playing. So I mean, I think he probably was playing there, but I think the issue was what you said. He's probably just naturally, or maybe because he lost a bit of confidence in the game, dropping back into midfield, so it didn't feel like it. But maybe when we set up, he was playing up top. But yeah, I don't think it worked. And I did feel for 𝗘𝗭𝗕𝗥𝗪 because he sort of really didn't look himself that game at all, really. And yeah, but as you said, it's good to try out different things. But maybe don't try that one again, is what I'd say. But talking about trying out different things, onto a positive result. We're onto a positive game. We love to see it. So a 3-1 win versus Halifax. Gus and Hopper scoring in quick succession. Halifax then pulling one back, and Kendall, of course, sealing the deal. What did you think about this one?
Perfect response. Honestly, perfect response. I think in the vlog I said at the end as well, just it was the right response needed. Just a dominant display. I mean, you lose to Sittingbourne and Maidenhead, two teams that are further down, and then you're welcoming Halifax, who are in that playoff mix, and you go, oh no, this is a bad bit of form, and we're going to get absolutely turned over. But going back to my video, I said at the beginning in the intro, form is temporary, class is permanent. And it really did shine through on that day. I think we put all that bad couple of weeks behind us and just went, right, clean slate, go out there, get a result. And we did. And we did. And like you said, it finished 3-1. 3-1. Yeah, 3-1. And it's dominant. Honestly, I think for the first half, it was a bit back and forth, feeling each other out. We like to come out in the second half, don't we, against teams? Because then we just switched it on. And it went from there, like I said, Kendall scored, Gus scored again. And I mean, what can't you say about the bloke? He's magic. But no, it was a good response, like we said, to the recent results. And it sort of boosted us going into the rest of the month, as we'll come on to. Then we had Rochdale, then Aldershot. And it was all matched in that good result form, that feeling positive again, putting the bat behind, focus forward. Yeah, really a good result that was needed against the high-flying side.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. But it's exactly what you said about that. In the first half, it was quite back and forth, and then we really turned up in the second half. And I think that's been the case all season, really, for the majority of the season, is that we sort of start quite slow and then pick it up in the second half. And I think that's very well when it goes into the break and we're drawing or winning, and then you can pick it up more in the second half. But I think, there have been times where we've started slow in the first half, been punished for it, and then we find ourselves, too far down that we can't get out, sort of thing. So I think how we set up, how we start, it should be, better. If I'm completely honest, I think we have started a bit too slow in games. Not that game in particular. I'm just talking about in general. I think we do start, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But that Tamworth game started far too slow. But as you said, picked it up, and a really, really good win against a good team. I think the result kind of made people not really realise how good of a result that is because of the scoreline, 3-1. You sort of think, well, Halifax aren't very good then, but actually they're in the playoffs and they're much higher position than us at this moment in time. So yeah, clearly a great side and a good win to get us back in the playoffs, I think. And in that game, first goals for Hopper and Kendall. How important is it for them to get off the mark?
Oh, incredibly important. I'd say, like we said throughout this, strikers in this club have not had a really nice time, especially this month and in recent. So to get two of your strikers off the goal scoring drought so to speak, amazing. And I think Kev said it on BBC Essex afterwards, that is just the right thing that was needed in that game. Positive, strong result, and for people to be showing up, and Kendall, Hopper with their first, is hopefully the first of many more to come. It was, like, we'll leave it on that. It was a brilliant result, and I couldn't single out one player and said, you were incredible, you were all incredible. You all did your jobs, you all went out there, and you beat a side who I believe had only lost 2 away games coming into that night. So we made it 3, obviously, and it was incredible.
I didn't know that their away record was that good.
It's amazing, honestly.
What a stat. So I think a massive talking point of that game was obviously the kit clash. And to be honest, all I can say about this, how did they let them walk out like that? Because it was so obvious. Myself, my dad, the people behind me, the people next to me, everyone said, well, that's a kit clash. Dark grey and navy. I just don't know how they even sort of let that happen. I don't even know what to say about that.
No, it was proper bad. I think from my perspective of filming things, I was getting caught up a few times. I was going, right, there's the ball, where's it gone? Hold on a minute. And it's just like gone the other way because of the kit clashes. But apparently, I think Kendall said after the game, because they interviewed him for his goal, and he said, it didn't really bother me. It didn't really fuss me. So I just thought, well, fair play to you then. I think it was more an official side of thing getting confused and mixed up. But I can see the argument for the kit clash because I spoke to a few in weeks after that, and they've said, I couldn't tell who was who. I couldn't see where Hopper was. I couldn't see where Kendall. And it's just like, you get it, you do. But like you said, tactical masterclass from Kev. Confuse them in the first half, second half, come out in these bright colours. It'll dazzle them, and we'll go and dazzle on the pitch. And it worked. It worked. All fair play. So, Kev, if we're going to start doing that at home, please, let's go for it. Please, just make sure everyone brings a dark, like, home and away kit. Just don't give them a choice to change. We'll go on our blue midway through. Sorry, boys, but we're changing now. And hey, I don't think that's ever been done before in a game at Roots, or one that I remember especially. But if we're going to make it a regular thing, then I'm all for it. Let's go for it. And the shirt sales will go through the roof. I mean, what, you use 2 kits in one game? Think of the retail, boys. Come on.
Fantastic. But I just couldn't really believe that the officials did they not think anything about the fact that these 2 teams, one is in dark grey, one is in navy? I mean, that's pretty close. Right. But anyway, it works in our favour. So happy days. I'll let them off. But on to another, on paper and actually in performance, a good result against Rochdale. A point at home, always nice. Obviously, we spoke about the Hogan goal to equalise it. But Bon, I mean, the work that he did to get that goal, we said about him rolling up their players before, which really played a massive part in the game. But, his run, and he just completely set up that ball, and he put the ball in such a deadly spot that, and this is what I was saying about, you fire a ball at a goal, anything can happen. And it's true because, it weren't at goal, but he fired it in such a deadly position and it was going at such a pace that their centre-back was just completely caught out. He had to run straight at it and fell over his feet and it ended up in the net. So that's the sort of chance that you need. But what did you make of the Rochdale point then?
Scott Hogan made the match for me. No, like you said, Rochdale was equally as tough as Halifax. They're well known for being well driven in midfield, and that's the night we went back to 5 in the middle to counteract that Rochdale strong midfield. And to start with, I think Rochdale had the upper hand, and we had to play catch up because all their midfielders were swapping with each other throughout that first half. And you could pick up on a few. I think Rodney, their number 10, started off on the right. He came out into the middle. He went to more advanced. He went to the left. He went back. It was honestly quite mesmerising to watch and go, right, you get used to players being in these positions like, right, Gus, you're up against him. I don't know, Coach, you're up against him. And no, I couldn't pick that up for Rochdale. And it was, like we said, mesmerising. And it really, I think, confused us for the first half. But we went on, we scored through Scotty Hogan's absolute belter. But like you said, Bond's work rate made that goal. I think that was the one that Leon and Keenan made a difference as well in coming on. But no, again, a strong result, similar to Halifax. It got that, like we said, the woes of the past being left behind to match another good result. And yeah, all in all, it kept us firing up the table and keeping on the heels of both Halifax and Rochdale in what is still a tight race.
Yep. As you said, Leon and Keenan both came on in that game, and they just made such a difference. I think that game, I know Leon came on possibly in the Halifax game. I know he definitely came on in the Maidenhead game. But I think this was the first time where we really properly got to have a look at Leon. And I mean, I was just pretty amazed with what I saw. And I think most people were. I can't remember how much he played in that game, but in the amount of time that he played, he's just so good. And the way he drives forward and he's so strong, just a fantastic player. What did you make of Leon and also Keenan's cameo in that game as well?
Leon is the mustard, my boy. He is the mustard, the gravy, the sides, all of the main produce on anything. Incredible. I mean, like I said, that was our first time of seeing him. And you think, okay, he'll do a little bit here and there, get the ball, do a little drive. But boy, oh boy, Leon, my son, you are something special. Picked it up and just loves the run. He loves just to get it and go, right, bang, I'm beating you. I'm making something dangerous and you're not going to like me for the rest of this game. And he did that. And Keenan equally comes on and is that little annoying player. Everyone plays and says his height is his disadvantage. No, it's actually his advantage, I think. Being such a small player, could just dart around just being a little guy, could dart around players in and out. He could draw a foul. Yes, he's not going to win a header. Let's get over that already. If you expect him to beat Scott Hogan in the air, you're at the wrong game, guys. But no, honestly, I think both of them coming on in that game was a key difference. Just two young boys looking to go, make trouble, make goals. And it did. And it worked out. And Scotty Hogan, like I said, first goal for the club. Brilliant boy. Well done. Thank you for your loan spell. Back to Rochdale with you. But no, we won't take that away. Leon and Keenan are both key, big players for us now, this season, next. And they both deserve, I think, a game with maybe just them sitting in front of a holding midfielder. Maybe when Cav's back, because, Cav, I miss him so much. But have him sat behind and have Leon and Keenan driving and allowing the others to split off. That could be magical work there.
Absolutely. So we'll move on to the next game. Another nice result, a big Tuesday night win. We obviously love our Tuesday night wins. Maybe not a nice night for us traffic-wise, but a great night for a good result.
Put the tweet up somewhere.
Oh, I'll get the tweet up, but maybe not a nice night for us traffic-wise, but a lovely result and a really good performance. And it's actually sort of the reverse of what we've been talking about before, where it's been a good result or an okay result, but maybe not such good a performance. I actually think the 2-1 result almost, it doesn't really pay us justice of how well we played that game in a way. I thought we were really good, and Noor and Gus scoring. Obviously, shots pulled one back pretty late on, but we held off well. Nick Hayes again doing some really nice saves in that game, and a first start for Leon. So, what did you make of that game?
I think you have to give a big applause to Noor for that, because he's come out, I think, early in the season said this season's not great for me. I know I'm behind on where I want to be, and you do feel for him because last season when we were in Bargo and us against the world and all that, he was outstanding. You couldn't beat him on any day. And then this season, I think he's just struggled and hopped along in and out of the squad. And I did feel bad for him because he used to be the only midfielder for me who would take a shot from the edge of the box. And you've spoken about it, saying shots cause problems. They do. And hey presto, Noor gets it on the edge of the box. And I swear I hope the whole ground goes shoot. Because you're just crying out for it. And he does. And hey presto, goal. Yes. And we have missed that for him so much. And you saw his celebration. It was just nothing special. But I think for him, similar to Bonnet Dagenham, it will mean so much going forward. Just a bit of confidence. And you're like, right, I'm off the mark now. I've got that goal. And like I said, when is the last time we've seen a midfielder score from like the edge of the box? The obvious one that stands out to me is Mr. Houston himself against Solihull last year with that absolute peach of a goal. But no, for me, Noor, outstanding. And like you said, shots got one back through quite a well-worked goal. I'd say similar to Noor, edge of the box. That's just a bit more power on it, and it beat Hayes in the net. But I seem to recall as well, Nick, at the end of that game, pulling off 3 incredible saves to keep that scoreline. So, again, Hayes, big shout-out to him in that game. But again, it was a result, I think, like you said, it's gone under the radar, but it was important. Aldershot are fighting down there for their lives. They need results to stay up. They're in danger. They're in really big danger this season. And it's similar to Maidenhead, another club who's down. You need to turn these sides over if you want to be up there all season. And we did versus Aldershot. It was a good response, and it continued that sort of unbeaten run, if you will, going into our last game versus Tamworth. But all on the night, yeah, I couldn't fault a lot of things. Leon's first start, like we said, the must. I'm not going to say again, but oh my days, just put a picture of a roast dinner and his face on top of it. That's him right there. But no, he was honestly a great night. Again, kept the unbeaten run going and set us up nicely for Tamworth.
Definitely, and I think actually Aldershot, I wouldn't say they were unlucky in that game because I do think we deserved the win, but I actually think they played like really well, especially in places, and I think you can see their talent. You can see that Witherington is a good manager. It's just not clicking for them this season, but it clicked last season, and they finishing just in those sort of playoff places where we're aiming for. So I think they're having a bit of a blip season for me, and I think, yeah, credit to them. I thought they played pretty well, to be honest. I might be alone in that, but I think they played well, if I'm honest. So if we move on to the final game of the month, then we'll do a little youth roundup, and then maybe do a little quiz if we've got a little bit of time. So obviously, last game of the month, it was 2-3 days ago, something like that now. We're filming this on Tuesday. Might be out today, might be out tomorrow. We'll see. Probably tomorrow. So obviously a Tamworth game, 1-1 draw. They scored inside 8 minutes, not an ideal start. An equaliser from Gus just after half time, about 10 minutes after half time, I believe it was, or maybe a little less. And obviously, I was back in your vlog. So, what were your thoughts on that game then?
I could see a bloody thing. No. Historically, sorry, we hate 3G pitches. I think we've only ever beaten Maidstone on a 3G pitch. So, me, before the game, going to Tower, I thought, this would be a nice stadium, nice old-fashioned crowd. Turn up, didn't do any reading into it. There's a 3G pitch in front of me. I'm like, oh dear me, I've mistaken this one today. And I think everything in my mind went from being, right, we're going to pummel this lot 4-0, went to like, we could lose today. What? And I'm never one to say we're going to lose. I love to be positive about it, but I just generally thought, wow, I could have really done this badly today. But no, in terms of the game, like you said, we conceded early, which wasn't good. And we said at halftime, when we actually kind of got this pod sort of set up, we met at halftime and we did a halftime talk, and we just went, what's going on? What is, honestly, it was walking. Not even walking. I said I was semi-walking. Get the old wheelchair mobility thing out. It wasn't fluent. There wasn't anything clean in it. We struggled. Bon and Hopper were isolated, two big units. You can understand why they were brought in, but they didn't work together. It was one was trying to flick it on to wait for the other one to run, but by then the defenders already got back to cover it. It didn't work. Tommy Tonks had an outstanding game. I might as well say that as well. He kept Leon quiet. And that's really hard to keep a young player like Leon quiet, but he did that so well. But no, so we were at half-time. We were shocking. We were annoyed. We wanted to leave. And Gus comes out, bang, gets in there. Lovely little goal as well. Nice little curl on it. Creep on the inside the post. Goalkeeper didn't have a chance. I mean, I think in their post-match conference, whatever it was, they said that the keeper should have had it. No, he's not getting that. He ain't touching that ball at all. 14 goals for the main man. It was a good response, but I think we touched on it earlier when I said, was I happy with the result? No, not really. I mean, you could say we fought back, we got a point, yay, but could we have done more like we did versus Aldershot? Yeah, honestly, I think we could have done more. And I think it is a bit of an eye-opener for Kev to say, can I start Bon and Hopper together? No, not in my books at least. What the? I just got balloons on my screen. What did I do? What did I do? Leave that in. I was going to think I'm going mad now. What happened? What happened? I'm genuinely confused.
We're getting to the podcast point in the podcast where we're going a bit mad, I think. So,
what did you see that? Oh my god!
Yeah, I definitely saw that. Don't worry, you're not going mad.
Okay.
But as you said though, Said, I think it was a really good point. Well, not a really good point. So that's a bit of an exaggeration.
No.
It was no, it was a really good point considering Tamworth's home record. I would say it's maybe not the best result. We would have liked to win, but I think if you factor in Tamworth and how they play at home, what they've done to teams at their ground, you only have to look at their cup run to see how good they are at home. I don't actually think it's the worst result, but I think, as you said, the first half really not good, and I think there's a case for both Hopper and Bon being in the team, but I just wouldn't say up front together. I wouldn't say either of them so far anyway have been particularly prolific for the club. So I would say if you have them both up top, then I don't really see how we're going to get a goal, and that's no disrespect to them. I just think some strikers are just not quite as prolific as others, but they offer things in different ways, and you can see that in Bon and the assists that he's getting this season. I think he's up to about 6 or 7, so people overlook that, which is pretty good for a striker, I would say. And that's how he plays. He needs a prolific striker next to him, or playing that sort of 3 formation, 3 up top. So yeah, I would say Bon and Hopper. That's what we sort of learned from that game. So that concludes our section talking about game by game. So I've got a little youth roundup, and I've got all the scores for the under 18s and the under 19s. So yeah, let's get straight into them. So if we start off with the under 18s, the first game we've got to look at is a 4-1 win versus Averley. And these league names really don't roll off the tongue, but it's the National League Under 19 Alliance Division A. So it doesn't roll off the tongue, but a lovely win there. Game 2, a 4-0 loss to Chelmsford in the league. I'll just say the league this time. I can't go off. I keep saying that league name. Game 3 was a 2-2 draw to Hollands and Blair. But a loss on penalties in the Cup 4-3 in the Under 19 Alliance League Cup quarter final. Zlatev got 2 goals there, and they currently sit second in the league. So, you know, doing well for the under 18s. Let's look at the under 19s for the month. So, for the under 19s, we've got game 1, which was a 3-4 win versus Maidenhead in, again, doesn't roll off the tongue, the National League Under 19 Alliance Academy South Division. They really don't roll off the tongue, these ones. But goal scorers, I mean, who do you think scored for the under 19s?
I think someone got a hat trick, if I'm right in thinking.
He definitely got 2 goals.
Oh, close, Mr. Jack Stone himself.
Mr. Jack Stone himself. While Joe Poxton also got a goal in that game, the captain. So, again, Jack Stone, and what you're going to see from this is Jack Stone is absolutely on fire, and has been all season. So, game 2, a 6-1 win away to Aldershot in the league. Ward, Stone got 2 goals again, another brace for him. Okafor, Humphrey and Poxon got another goal. So another good result for the under 19s. Game 3 was a 3-3 draw versus Woking in the league. The goal scorers were Makangu, Humphrey and Stone. So another goal for Stone. So currently the under 19s sit 3rd in the league, and Jack Stone is on 22 goals for the season, which is ridiculous. And I think I could be wrong, but that might just be league goals. I'm not sure if that includes cup games as well, but whether it's league or cup, to be honest, that's just ridiculous. So Justin Rees, he recently did an interview with the club, and one thing that he said in that was that he really wanted to use the academy, so it'd be a big part of the plans in the future. So what do you think, Pick? Would you like to see more of the academy coming through to the first team?
Well, if we've got a 22 goal scoring striker sitting in there, yeah. No, I mean, I don't look massively at the youth. I'll hold my hands up there and say that's not more my thing. But I heard of Jack Stone's goal record, and then we started following each other on X, and we just little chat here and there. But the youth and the academy as such are vital for a club. I mean, you look at players that come through other clubs in Essex, like Colchester's in there, and other bits and teams, and you do get these gems that come through. And I think when we lost our funding for the academy, when we were knocked out of the EFL, I think you keep it for a year and a bit, and then it stops getting funded and you do it on your own. And we obviously couldn't fund that last season due to some mismanagement, rat-faced owner, but less of him. It is vital. It is vital we keep a youth and an academy going, because it brings young players in the surrounding areas of Essex and maybe even in the broader areas just into the club and go out, spot a player and say, you could really be something, and we want you to come to us, not Colchester, not any of these other clubs, Gillingham or any big Leighton Orient nearby around. Come to us and we will make you a star, but you have to give your side of the deal also. And I think we've seen it over the years. We have had incredible players come through. Dan Bentley off the top of my head, Jack Payne, who's now at Colchester. Oh, you're really testing me now. Drew Yearwood came through, Charlie Kelman, just to name a few there. But it's vital. Honestly, it's vital. I'm glad that Justin came out on that and said that it is a big thing, because, like we said, you want to bring in youthful players. And then it's more than just bringing in one player. That player then goes home, and if he's got a brother who's at like Malden, for example, says, oh, I'm here. Come sign for me at South. Come be with me at Southend. It's bigger than that. It goes further. It branches out. So all in all, I'd love to see the academy and the youth kept together and expanded more. And I think there might be a role for Jason Demetriou maybe in there. I know it's Danny Heath at the moment in there with the youth team and all that, but maybe an ex-player being in there as well could also be a good sign. But all on the whole, brilliant to hear from Justin that it's going to be a big thing going forward, and hopefully come in a couple of seasons, well, hopefully this season, maybe next when we're back in the EFL, it will start to take shape and flourish.
Absolutely. And to be honest, you look at those stats, I actually wonder, and considering, I wouldn't call it a crisis, but we've definitely got a bit of a striker issue in the sense that, like, goal scoring wise, I do wonder how long it would be until Jack Stone gets his chance, because you can only go so long playing like that at that level before the manager turns his head and goes, you're in the team. So I wonder when he'll sort of get his chance, because I think it's difficult because we've got so many strikers that it may be calling up another striker right now. Maybe it's not the time, but I would be interested to see whether he gets his chance maybe this season, maybe next season, maybe season after, whenever it is. I can't imagine it'd be any later than next season, really, with those sort of numbers. So to wrap it up, this is definitely the longest podcast I've ever done. But I absolutely loved it. There's just so much to talk about. We've not done one of these in a while, so why not give the fans a big episode to watch?
We got time to make up. Don't worry, people. I hope you've had plenty of cups of tea during this, because I've gone through nearly 2 bottles of drink already.
Yes, so have I, to be fair, going through the drink. So if we do a little quiz to wrap it up, it should be a little quick fire quiz, some fun questions, see if you do better than last month. So I've got 4 questions for you. Some are easier than others, some are harder. But we'll start off with a very, very nice and easy one. Who do you think our top goal scorer of the month was?
That's a genuine hard question, my man. But I believe he's got a little chant that starts with something dynamite, and he's just an amazing 14 goal scoring right wing back. Gussie Scott Morris, of course, my son. Yep. Incredible. Absolutely incredible guy.
Yeah, I believe he's the top scorer for a defender in England's top 5 leagues, which is just ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that's right. And I don't know about the league below, but maybe even the league below as well.
Get the contract out.
Absolutely. So go on to the next one. This is more tricky, but I feel like I'll be nice on this one. So I'm going to ask you, how many away fans, since it was just the other day, how many away fans made the trip to Tamworth? It's an incredible number, but I'll give you to the nearest 10. Go on. It's like a little bit of leeway.
So I actually looked this morning at that number. Because Shrimper John, for anyone who knows, Shrimper John's an absolute legend. Why I'll point that out on this, but he put it on Twitter the other day, and I just happened to see it pop up this way. So I want to say it was 700, and I'll go exact, 709.
He's got it spot on.
Yeah!
Oh my God. Unreal. So you're 2 for 2.
Yes.
Can you go 3 for 3.
Oh, come on, Ed.
So this question is, who scored are... I was going to say first, but I'm not going to go first of the month because that is Gus. So who scored our second goal of the month?
What? Second? Oh my days. So we didn't score at Sittingbourne. We didn't score Maidenhead. In fact, just in case anyone wonders, this piece of paper's gone now. There, it's gone. Sittingbourne and Maidenhead, we didn't score. So it would have been Halifax. Gus?
So Gus scored the first. I'll give you.
Oh, so no, you said second. No.
So I'll give you some help on that. Gus scored the first, so just a second.
Who scored the second? Oh, it's actually gone.
There is a reason I'm asking this as well.
Oh no! Why do I think this is controversial? Oh no! I'm thrown. I'm honestly thrown. Oh God! I'm just gonna have to say a name. I don't think it was this guy, but I think it was. Was it? Oh wait! Was it Hopper?
It was Tom Hopper.
Yes, I was about to say Goodliff. But I went, he did score.
No, it was Tom Hopper. Well done. So you're 3 for 3. Can you wrap up the podcast with 4 out of 4? Ooh. And this is the hardest one of them all. If you get this, I'll be amazed because like last month, not last month, but the last month that we did this, which is September. Like last time, I did a little shot in the dark to end it up and end it off with. So we're going to do a shot in the dark again. This shot in the dark, I think it's pretty similar to the last one I did. How many miles? So I'm looking for an exact number. How many miles have Southend travelled for away games this month? And I'm looking for the nearest 20.
This is from Roots Hall to an away ground.
To their ground and back as well. So
this is where I would value living in Essex so much.
With me and you, it might be a few thousand or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, for Essex, Maidenhead, I'm going to guess about 80. For me, it's about 5 miles. So who did we do? We did Maidenhead away, we did Tamworth away, and that was it, right? 300. Yeah.
It's just two games.
Just 2. It was just there or there and back.
There and back, sorry.
Okay. I have a number. I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but we're going to go for this. So my theory is Maidenhead's about 80. Tamworth is about 130 odd. So I'm going to say 410.
Oh my God. You know what? That is so close, but it's 480.
Dang! How far? Tamworth must be much further than I thought.
I will get some verification because
now I've got a like next to my head. No, go away.
Let's have a look. So Southend to Tamworth is just getting the exact number now.
No,
140. 145 there. So then, and then obviously back, so it's be 290 total.
And Maidenhead really throw me. Mate, I thought 80.
Yeah, so Maidenhead. Let's have a look. I might have got this way off.
Mate, I'm willing to fight this. I'm going to fight this.
It's 87 there, and 87 back. So it'd be 160, 174. So yeah. So that was but you got 3 out of 4. But so very strong.
I'll take it. I will take it. I mean, if anyone got 4 out of 4, fair play to you. But
yeah,
wow, that was intense. That was proper. I'm proper going for that.
Well, obviously, I've kept you here for an hour and 24, which is by a mile my longest podcast yet. But hopefully, everyone at home did enjoy. I certainly enjoyed making it. Did you enjoy making it, Pip?
Oh, mate, I got well into that. Sometimes too much into it. So I hope people dealt with me more enough than I dealt with myself. But no, it's brilliant. Like I said, we haven't done this in a long time, and it's down to me more so. But I'm glad to be back with it. I'm glad to be here. And hopefully we can get these last few months in a row, and I'll remind myself, I'll write it on my bloody head in a minute just to say do these, because they're amazing. I enjoy them. And what you do as well, mate. Come on. I mean, you're in class. They're class, my man. Come on.
Well, I could say the same for you with the vlog, which I'll leave a link to obviously below in the description. So, I mean, if you're watching this, you almost definitely know who 𝗙𝗪𝗔 is, but I'll leave the link below anyway. But yeah, so before I wrap it up, is there anything you want to say just before I end it?
Thank you for dealing with me for an hour and 25 of your time. You can deal with Finn. I mean, he's amazing. But me, I mean, I struggle to deal with myself for 12 minutes in a vlog, let alone this long. So well done to you. And thank you, Finn, for having me back. Hopefully we'll keep this on the right path for now, mainly me. But it's been amazing. We've spoken about plenty. Hopefully we've all learned something today. And yeah, thank you. And I think in my typical fashion of ending videos, I think I'll wrap it up in my own way of going, peace.
Nice. And obviously people at home won't know this, but yeah, I think you probably remember my dad doing that for a little while to you in person. Which I seem to remember our season 2 mention on most podcasts now with you, but where my dad was going peace in real life, which was slightly horrific. But
I want to see that now.
But yeah, so if anybody has enjoyed, obviously I'll leave Pip's link below. If you're watching this, you definitely know who 𝗙𝗪𝗔 is, but I'll leave the link below. And yeah, we're going to keep these going. I really enjoyed today. And it has been a long one, but hopefully if you've I don't know, got some schoolwork or something to get on with, or whatever it is you're doing, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this and listen to us ramble on about Southend. And yeah, as Pip said, we'll definitely come back in March. Maybe even do so in the meantime together. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully if everyone did enjoy at home, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.